Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya Muhammad Aiman bin Asri, mewakili kumpulan saya ingin membentangkan tajuk vektor dan skala. Sebelum kami meneruskan penerangan kami, saya ingin memperkenalkan ahli kumpulan saya, iaitu Tarun Raw, Agilan Darren, dan yang terakhir saya Muhammad Aiman bin Asri. Introduction to Scalar and Vector. A vector is an object that has both a magnitude and a direction. Geometrically, we can picture a vector as a directed line segment whose length is the magnitude of the vector and with an arrow indicating the direction. The direction of the vector is from its tail to its head.
Hi everyone, my name is Tarun Rao and I'm from class DEM 1B. Today I'm going to prove that vector and scalar products can be applied in engineering. So to prove that, I've chosen a topic to be based on, which is agriculture. According to the diagram which is in my slide, diagram 1, it shows that it takes place in a paddy field. So diagram 1 shows a paddy field that has two directions, y and x, plus a scarecrow which represents a horizontal direction known as direction z. Direction z is perpendicular to the plane of x and y. Direction y is also known as vector y, which it represents 4i plus 3j plus 5k. Same goes to direction x, vector x, which is 2i plus 6j plus 3k. The angle between these two is known as angle theta. Then we can start with our first sub question, which is known as question 1, which is find the vector product of two vectors, which is y and x. Before you do this, first you must assemble the vectors into two groups with the symbols. For example, vector y, I assemble with the symbol A. A1, A2, A3 represents the value of I, J, K that belongs to vector y. Same goes to vector x. B1, B2, B3 represents the values of I, J, K that belongs to vector x. After you assemble, then we go to the next step, which is known as IJK table. IJK table is something in a matrix form. So to do this, if you want to find the I value, you must close the I column. Once you close the I column, you'll be left out with J column and K column. To do the first small step, since you'll be left with J column and K column, you have A2, B2, A3, B3. So A2 times B3 minus with A3 times B2. Since you already solve this, you will get the I value. Same applies to other column. If you want to find for the J value, you must close the J column. If you want to find for the K value, you must close the K column. After you do this, you'll solve it, you'll get the last answer, which is negative 21i plus 6j plus 2k. Then we go to our second question. Find a vector that is perpendicular to both vector y and x. Before you do this question, there's a rule. For Cartesian plate, if you want to do an equation based on this topic, there'll be a positive, negative, positive. That's the rule for each equation. So in this topic, I follow the same rule, which is the first equation for I, which is in positive, I put. For the second one, I put in negative, and the third one, I put in positive back. In certain situations, this rule changes when a negative is placed in the first equation itself. So the rule also changes. But in now this situation, it doesn't change. So once you solve it all, you'll get negative 21i minus 6j plus 2k. We already solved the vector that is perpendicular to the two vectors. We can move on to the third question, which is find the unit vector which is perpendicular to two given vectors. In a simpler meaning, convert a vector into a unit vector. This method can be solved by using a modulus method. So you use the vector which is in question 2, the vector that is perpendicular to the two vectors, I, J, K, you must square root. So first one is you square the I value, which is negative 21 square, then plus with the square value of J value, which is negative 6 square, and plus with the value square of K, 2 square. Then you square the whole thing, you get square root 481. You cannot get a nice answer because 481 you cannot solve. So just leave it in that form, which is square root 481. Then the last form, you should write it in 1 over square root 481 bracket negative 21i minus 6j plus 2k, close bracket.
The question 2 is, the diagram on the side show a futsal court that has two directions, namely x and y and z, which represent the lamppost. The z direction is perpendicular to the plane, while x and y are in position as defined by the screw rule on the right. The first question is vector A has modulus 12 and vector B has modulus 8, and the angle between A and B is 60 degree. How to solve that is A dot B sama dengan 12 darab 8 darab sin 60. Formula yang diberikan adalah A darab B darab sin theta. Jawapan akhir ialah dapat 48. Soalan nombor 2 pula, if A sama dengan 7i tambah 4j dan B sama dengan 3i tambah 5j, find A dot B and B dot B. A dot B sama dengan 7 darab 3 tambah 4 darab 5. Selesaikan 7 darab 3 dapat 21, dapat darab 5 dapat 20. 21 tambah 20 dan jawapan akhir dapat 41. Kemudian cari B dot B. B dot B sama dengan 3 darab 3 tambah 5 darab 5. 3 darab 3 dapat 9 dan 5 darab 5 dapat 25. Tambahkan kedua-duanya dan jawapan akhir adalah 34.
Selamat pagi kepada puan. Nama saya Gilendran. No matrik saya 09DEM 21F 1307. Hari ini saya ingin membentangkan tentang scalar. Okay. So the first question is, vector A has modulus 8 and vector B has modulus 9 and the angle between them is 70. Find A dot B. Okay, what is the formula? A dot B equals to A darab B darab cos theta, iaitu angle. So macam mana cari AB? Okay, modulus A sudah beritahu iaitu 8, modulus B sudah tahu 9. So darjah pun diberikan iaitu 70. So kita perlu apply macam 8 darab 9 darab cos 70. So AB dapat 25. Soalan 2. If A equals to 5i plus 6j and B equals to 2i plus 4j, find AB and BB. Okay, kalau A tu ialah 5i tambah 6j, B tu 2i tambah 4j. So dia suruh darab. So apa yang kita perlu buat ialah kita perlu ambil I dengan I dulu. I untuk A ialah 5, I untuk B ialah 2. So darab. So J untuk A ialah 6, J untuk B ialah 4. So kita perlu darab dan tambah, dapat 34. BB sama juga, kita perlu ambil B equals to 2I tambah 4J 2 kali. So I nya ialah 2. So kita perlu darab dengan 2. 2 darab 2 sama dengan J. Kerana equasinya sama, equation same. So J also same. So 4 times 4, 4 darab 4. So kita akan dapat 4 tambah 16 equals to 20. Sekian, terima kasih.